Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This video we're going to be doing the Itto banner and his weapon banner. Should you pool video? Um, I know these they've been out for a couple days. I had a little bit of a cold, so I didn't record the video. But also it was leaked kind of early, so some of you probably have seen it then. But let's just go over it now. Um, as always, if this is a character you really want, you really like his aesthetic, you should roll on him regardless of whether he's actually good or not, because you'll enjoy playing him and you'll have fun with him. Um, but if you are kind of on the fence, or if you think you should, or if you're debating whether you should or not, this video will hopefully help you. Couple things first. I always recommend waiting at least a week or two so people can test the character before you actually roll, unless you have the disposable income to roll as much as you want. But if you're actually, concerned about whether you should get him or not, definitely wait a week or two, especially because as well, his artifact set only came out a couple weeks ago as well, so people's artifacts are going to be a little bit on the weaker side too. So it's going to be a little bit hard to get a true read on how good he is. So the banner's the man Itto himself, and then we got Zhangling, Goro, and Barbara. This is kind of an okay banner. Zhangling is awesome. If you can get her C4, she's insane. Good because that actually gives you a character on the other side of the abyss. Barbara is dead weight, and Goro is perfect for Itto. But one thing I'm a little worried about is there is a non-zero chance that you don't get a Goro while rolling for Itto, and that could feel really bad because Goro is shaping up to being a very important unit for Itto. So that is something to be aware of if you're just going for a C0 Itto and like you have pity or something like that. If you're not going to be doing that many pulls to get him, there's a very likely chance that you will not get a Goro. Like for example, I took me forever to get a Toma for when I was going for Hu Tao. I actually had to do like an extra 100 pulls after I got my Hu Tao to get him. So from personal experience, it definitely can sometimes take a while, but he probably is worth it if you have the primos lying around, and especially if Itto's C1 is kind of alright. So if you accidentally end up getting it, it's fine. But as well, one thing that worries me a little bit about Itto is the fact he probably also want Zhongli and Albedo, which are two other 5-stars. So if you don't have them, especially if you don't have Albedo, I think you can get away without Zhongli. You're definitely going to see probably a performance drop with Itto. So I'd maybe be a little bit careful. Wait to see people test his comps out, see how good he would be without Zhongli or without Albedo if you're in that situation. But overall, he's looking fine. If you want to pre-farm for him, go get you that new artifact set. And if you're looking for weapon recommendations, besides 5-stars, White Blind's probably fine. Serpent Spine is probably very good as well, because Serpent Spine's passive is percentage damage, not like percentage attack. So despite being a defense scaling character, the percentage damage increase from Serpent Spine is probably good. So if you have it, that'd be insane for him. The rest of this banner, honestly, these 4-stars are kind of weak, so I normally wouldn't recommend rolling on a banner just for 4-stars, but I definitely wouldn't recommend rolling on this banner just for the 4-stars, as outside of Itto, Goro doesn't really have a ton of uses. Barbara's pretty meh. Zhangling's awesome, but 1 out of 3 isn't really a good ratio for you to be looking at when you roll. Next, let's take a look at the weapon banner. As always, weapon banners are almost always a trap and not worth it, but if you have the gems lying around and you want them, go for it. The 2 5-stars actually on this banner are rather good. This isn't as good as the Homa banner, but the Skyward Harp is a very good crit weapon. It has I believe it's crit rate as its substat, and then its passive also gives some crit damage. So it's a pretty good weapon. High base attack. It's pretty good for Sarah if you play like Raiden hyper carry teams. It's fine on anybody who wants to DPS bow. Child, Yoimiya, Ganyu, not necessarily the best for some of those, but still a very solid option. And then the Red Horn Slasher is kind of tailor-made for Itto. Also probably works pretty well in Noelle. It might be alright on characters like Eula. It does have a ridiculous crit damage substat, but kind of its passive, kind of just buffing normal and charge attack damage, means it's pretty weak on characters like Diluc or Eula. Other Claymore characters that care more about their skill and burst damage are probably better off not rolling on this for them. Kind of just rolling on this if you're worried about Itto or, maybe you're a Noelle main. If you're a Noelle main and you have child or something, then sure, go for this. These two 5-stars. Looking at the 4-stars on this banner, the bow here, the 5-star bow, or the 4-star bow. This is just a DPS official weapon, not very good. The bell is dead weight. Favlance is fine. It's good on characters like Zhongli, Toma, any kind of support polearm user that you don't really want to have to worry about energy funneling. It's a fine weapon. Sacrificial fragments, kind of really only good on Sucrose, but Sucrose is a really good character, so this sword here, though, is actually really good. The Alley Flash, it's actually the best sword in the game for Bennett if you don't have any 5-stars, purely because it has a higher base attack than every other 4-star sword. So, that's fine if you get it. Overall, I think Itto will be completely fine without this weapon, so I wouldn't feel pressured into rolling. But, if there's anyone who I would say, hey, go for it, roll for, both of these, If you have a child national team on one side and you're gonna run an Itto Geo team on the other, I mean, these banners are pretty great for you. You got a spear for Zhongli here, you got a bow for child, you got a great sword for your Itto, and on the banner itself you got some Zhangling constellations. So if you're in that specific situation, these banners are pretty great for you. For everybody else, these are some pretty hard skips, especially if you don't want Itto. And a lot of people are going to be probably hyped the ever-living crud out of this greatsword because of that 88% crit chance or crit rate. But if you compare that even to like something like what's it called, Serpent Spine. Serpent Spine has like 64% crit value. This is 88. Obviously it's quite a bit better, but for a passive that's really only good on specific characters, this greatsword isn't very good a lot of times, especially if you're going to be ending up spending your actual money. You're better off just getting like an R5 Serpent Spine over time than spending money on this banner. So yeah, it's kind of just my recommendations. I would definitely wait on Itto. I would definitely probably consider skipping if you don't need another carry, because he is a hyper carry, and also he is a hyper carry who looks like he needs way more specific units than other hyper carries. For example, Eula really only cares about having a good cryo battery and an electro character, which could be a multitude of different characters. Zhao really only cares about having Sucrose or possibly Jean for an emo battery, whereas Itto looks reliant on Zhongli, Albedo, and Goro, or at the very least Goro, Albedo. So definitely something to be careful of if you don't have all those characters, but if you like him, roll anyway. But good luck on rolling, and I will have a video, just going over him in the demo, giving you my personal thoughts. But I hope you have a great day.